Hi Leo, this is your June 2023 reading. We're kicking off the month of June with Mars, the planet of assertiveness, drive, ambition, and passion in your sign. There's a fiery new moon in Sagittarius on June 3rd, which will be very complementary to your fire sign placements, Leo. Venus will also join in the fun and move into the sign of Leo in the first week of June. So Venus rules culture, pleasure, money, and romance and relationships. Then the masculine counterpart to the feminine Venus, Mars, is already established in your sign, Leo. And this is about bringing about a balance between everything in your life, your divine feminine and divine masculine, your needs and your wants, and everything that you're going to be receiving this month is just in perfect harmony. Love and romance, of course, is going to be prominent for some. It's going to be very sexy, very dramatic, very magnetic, full of glamour, all of those good Leo things as Mars and Venus do a dance together in your sign all month long. We're going to begin this reading now by pulling an archetype card to set the tone, to set the stage really for Leo this month, before moving on to a tarot spread. And whether or not, Leo, that you may not be looking for love necessarily, but Venus in Leo is going to be about cultivating a strong relationship with yourself, romanticizing your life, enjoying yourself, enjoying pleasure and your life. Mars in your sign is going to be about ambition and going for what you want this month. We have the Siren. Ooh, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The Siren. Let's have a quick look at what the archetype guidebook says about the Siren. And I mean, how perfect is that? How perfect is that for you with just all this really sexy energy in your sign? Venus and Mars, perfect together in the sign of Leo. So this is speaking about the temptress, the seducer, and the femme fatale. These are energies that you can invoke in this month, and you are really encouraged to actually. Other iterations of the Siren archetype include the nymph, the mermaid, and the fairy. They often come in sets of three as a trinity of temptation. My Irish accent really coming out there with the tree. So it says that the siren calls and the world spins. What we thought we wanted pales in comparison to the sweet allure of her song. We find ourselves lost in a spell of desire and longing, perhaps even lust. Mars, Venus, and Leo, hello. Whether the thing calling to us is ultimately good or bad is somewhat irrelevant. It's the journey that matters, and the work of the siren is to take us on a deep psychic descent. Following her song, we go down, 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 to a place where lessons are learned and courage must be rallied to find our way back to dry land. Try as we might, resisting the call may not even be an option, unless, like Odysseus, we bind our hands to the mast of our ship. It's likely, though, that falling for her call is the only way we will come to live more fully on the surface. Okay, so follow your desires, basically. The sweet allure of her song speaks to that Venus in Leo energy, which is in some way performative, but generous and warm-hearted, magnetic, and oh so present. Leo rules the heart chakra, the heart space. So you really are being called to follow in your desires. And desire, in fact, originates in the soul, not even from the ego. The soul sets up the desires so that we can evolve consciously, and the ego just acts them out and has the lived experience. So stepping into the archetype of awakened sensuality this month, and absorption, even arousing of the senses, visiting museums, immersing yourself in nature, arts, music, relationships. But when this is dark, wickedness, adultery, betrayal, and instability can be signatures. Let's get into this tarot spread. Okay, Leo, we have our siren message so far, which could even be encouraging you to forego convention and not be afraid of taboo. Let's see what the tarot has in store for you. Five of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Page of Wands. Moving on with the Three of Cups, no major arcana cards yet, so quite a busy and active month for you with the feet on the ground. Nine of Pentacles, Four of Wands, the Tower, our first and so far only major arcana, and Five of Swords. Very interesting, very busy month with so much going on. I see travel so far, celebration. And this makes a lot of sense because Venus and Mars being in your sign, they're going to be making a sextile, a harmonious, opportune aspect to Gemini, where we're going to have the Sun and Mercury. So that's just very busy, action-oriented, kind of moving towards passion projects and goals coming through. So no wonder it's all minor arcana. We do have some sort of a fear here with the Tower card of something blowing up or some sort of a sudden change, but it's not necessarily manifest in reality. It is still appearing just as a fear for you. We're going to get into all of this in just a moment when I meet you back on camera, but let's flesh this out just a small bit more with a couple more cards. Sirius, extremely fortunate card, which I believe is found in the constellation of Leo. It's a fixed star, so I'm going to have to double check that. And then we've also got a couple of archetypes that I want to bring to the reading just to kind of flesh this out a little bit more. Sometimes these can even speak to past life experience. Now might be a good idea to hit subscribe. Also, maybe take a screenshot of this if you want to refer back to these cards in this reading. Love, the theme of love and also indifference could come up this month. Religious themes and the law. But love, I really see as like one of the main indicators of this reading. I felt that before even pulling that card. I was wondering, am I going to see the love card archetype because of Venus and Mars in your sign, of course. Let's get into these cards together. The Eight of Wands, which is the first card out. This speaks to what the main theme of the month is. It's going to be busy, it's going to be fast moving. There's something already in motion. These 8 wands signify that something has been put out into the universe and the wheels are already turning on it. It's not like it isn't subject to change. It's a very mutable energy, very adaptable and flexible. So you can add or take away from this as you go. Nothing is set in stone, but this does suggest that something is already happening for you. The wheels are already turning. This suggests that the month of June could indeed be very action-packed. There's a very swift energy with this. It is called the Lord of Swiftness. It's Mercury in Sagittarius. So a couple of key dates that are coming up for me now. If you had good news recently, maybe around 19th, 20th, 21st of May, expect to receive even more good news around the 20th or so of June too. These are periods of times that are linked for you at this time, surrounding good fortune overall. The Eight of Wands suggests that travel could be quite important for you, commuting, networking, and just like very highly engaged with people around you and kind of just, very switched on this month. Sirius is the fixed star. That's actually in the constellation of Cancer, the sign before Leo. How and ever, it is a very fortunate star. When this star made its kind of like rising over the horizon, it was signifying in Egypt that was the time for the annual flooding of the Nile. And that's when it's kind of in the hottest days of the summer. So Cancer season, Leo season, they're still coming up for us. We still have to make it through Gemini season, of course, but that would tell me that by even expanding this forecast, like late June, July, August, even more of this good news and good fortune that you've been experiencing recently is going to keep continuing then. The hottest days of the summer is suggested by the fixed star Sirius. The flooding of the Nile signifies the end of drought and the end of famine. It's a very fertile, rich and potent time for life to be sort of all around. So it's just like a really good indication for your summer ahead, Leo, that it's going to be full of life basically, and full of things being cultivated and grown for you. A very fertile, rich and abundant summer for you lies ahead. We do have Venus going to be retrograde in Leo all summer long and staying in the sign of Leo until October. So your Leo house in your birth chart, figure out where that is. I do astrology consultations. I'll link my website below, but that's where you're going to be noticing a lot of Venus's influence in an area of your life. Now, as you are so busy for the month of June and you're kind of flying here, there and everywhere, you are high flying, the Five of Cups is here to present some sort of a challenge, or it throws a spanner in the works, so to speak. This speaks to some regret or disappointment. With all this good fortune that's appearing in the reading, with Sirius in particular, I think is just like the fixed star, the fixed nature of June for you is fortunate. The Five of Cups is the sort of harbinger of some misfortune. And I just see this simply as, because you're so in demand and busy, you're going to have to let people down in terms of making it to events, perhaps. You're just not going to be able to attend every single thing. You're not going to possibly be spreading yourself here, there, and everywhere. So you can maybe expect that you're going to let some people down gently this month, however you like to do it. And know that you can't possibly be everywhere. There are going to be people that are disappointed with you, unfortunately, but however, it seems like you're moving so quickly and acting on impulse at times that you don't even really notice this until after the fact. The Eight of Wands is telling me that your priorities are what's already set in stone for you, chasing them down, following them up. At the same time, people may just be disappointed that they can't get a hold of you. And that's just something that the Five of Cups is speaking to me about. You still have something on your mind that you are working towards, and there is a sense of frustration that this isn't actually manifest yet. This version of the Seven of Pentacles, and I have the Seven of Wands here too, the sevens in tarot overall speak to progress, manifestation, but they also speak to obstacles that come up in our way on the way to what it is that we want, our desired goal and outcome. Harness that Mars and Leo energy this month. Don't waste it. This is going to allow you to have more fixed Leo efforts and drive towards a project goal or manifestation. And with Venus in Leo, you're going to actually be able to determine what it is that you actually care about. So meanwhile, I see that right now in your mind, you may be frustrated that something hasn't come to be fully manifested yet. Because this version of the Seven of Pentacles shows these coins enlarging and, you know, kind of getting bigger, at least the one this person's holding is the biggest. That is telling me that this is going to be worth the wait. The Seven of Pentacles also speaks to having some more patience, and I know you really want this, and the Seven of Wands in your subconscious motivating you to keep going, to keep climbing that ladder, to keep trying to get on top of this and stay on top. When we're on top, there's always this fear of being knocked down, but this person deserves to be where they are. This speaks to you, Leo. This is the grit and determination that Mars and Leo is bringing to you this month, and the Seven of Wands is in your subconscious part of your reading, telling me that you want this, you're going to go for it, you're going to keep persevering, and you're not going to give up, you're not going to quit. And that might even be stronger than any sense of impatience or anxiety that's creeping in around why this hasn't fully happened yet, or why you haven't made that significant breakthrough yet. Even that breakthrough that you're waiting on may not even come in June. That may be a little further down the line, July, August. What happens in June is about what is kind of just synchronized for you, fated, what's already just out there moving for you. Some of these things that are just balls thrown out, wands thrown out into the ether, we're going to see what sticks. There are things very much moving for you. This is not a stagnant energy that you've been experiencing lately. I'm sure you know that. And it continues not to be a stagnant energy. very, very mutable and just fast moving. We spoke about that fiery new moon on the 3rd of June happening in Sagittarius. This is a Sagittarian card here, okay? And this is going to do wonders for Leo people, especially Leo suns with a Sagittarius rising or Leo suns with an Aquarius rising. For me, I really sense that this is going to even be more beneficial, but for the most part, this is just going to be a really happy new moon for all Leos, because you get to sort of start a new journey or define a new way, which is a new moon, of believing and kind of your perception. This is very like higher minded, expansive perceptions and things like that. So that brings me to some of these archetype cards and the good news that has recently come your way. The Page of Wands in your recent past. So what's been going on lately for you? Continuous travel, expansion, new experiences, exciting exchanges with others. I feel like somebody's got you kind of interested, or somebody's like brought out this real spark in you. This could be a flamboyant character. I see the Page of Wands quite often as somebody who just is really jovial, just like light-hearted, good energy, upbeat and optimistic. This could be you, of course, Leo, that's embodying this energy as of late, and it's doing wonders for you. But of course, this could be people that are rubbing off your energy too and kind of like just mirroring it back to you. I think the people you've been meeting lately are a true reflection of your good energy and positive vibes. People probably are having fun around you, and likewise you're enjoying being around others. The Page of Wands is a social card, but of course it really speaks about a message that's come your way. So what kind of messages have been coming your way, Leo? Well, they could be something to do with love, of course. They could be emotionally charged messages. But if Sirius has anything to say about it, well, they could be just really good news, good fortune, messages telling you that you've got the job, you've got the position, messages telling you that this travel plan has opened for you or there's opportunity, talks about, you know, getting to know someone on a romantic level, or just like things working out well, a bit of luck on your side, right? It's just that lucky energy, that kind of Midas touch that's just been around you lately. So good news has been coming. It continues to keep on coming. You're just kind of a little impatient as to when something is going to be completed. And I'm not seeing it necessarily being completed in June. I'm seeing that the efforts that it takes to get this to where you want it to be, or to be where you want to be on this, might need to be, if you need to show that test of your mettle a little bit more, I think, for this to be provided for you. And that's okay, it's all part of your journey. The sevens as well, I mean the 7 of Wands to the 8 of Wands, you're surely on your merry way. There's not like, we're not regressing here in any way. It's just about you keeping up the drive, memento, and just keeping that passion involved, and like that sort of sense of like really wanting this. The 5 of Cups, this is where we get into the kind of indifference element that's come through with love and indifference. These are the emotional cards of the month, the 5 of Cups and the 3 of Cups, and love and indifference. So as the month progresses and we get to around the midway mark, I feel like probably around the 11th of June onwards, we are having more of an emotional reaction and response. The 5 of Cups, you've learned that people have been, let's say, disappointed with certain ways you've been doing things. Some people maybe, okay, and if they're being honest with you about that, then it's actually a really beautiful, vulnerable position that they're trusting you with, showing this part of themselves. If they're saying to you, Leo, you are just so bright right now, you are so expansive, you've got everything going for you, it's just good news coming to you, and you've got so much opportunity and things are moving for you, and there's life all around you, and a part of that makes me feel a little bit small, a little bit less than, okay? This is very normal. And if they're open with you and telling you this, then it's really beautiful and honest, and you've got some real people around you. But you want to watch out for people that don't really express that, yet when you go to them with good news or stories about your success, you can feel that vibe is slightly resentful maybe, or less than happy for you, or you come away feeling drained or thinking like, oh, I shouldn't have actually said that to that person. That's no good. That's no use. And that's when perhaps you know that there's certain people that are like, oh, I guess a little bit resentful of your moves, and like you maybe are thinking, well, I don't have it all figured out, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but you're making the moves towards that, and that's really counts for an awful lot. So that's where there could be a little bit of indifference showing up in your life, where people are like, oh yeah, good for you, instead of being like, wow, that's amazing. And like, we're not expected, we're not asking for people to blow smoke up our ass 24/7, are we? That would also be quite uncomfortable, quite literally. But it's still a vibe that you may be aware of if you're sort of feeling like hesitant around sharing your successes with certain people in your life. And that's kind of where the indifference comes in. You may even find that there's people in your life that you wish were happier for you, and they just maybe don't have that capacity. Your light is making their your light is showing on their I guess reluctance to fully embody and fully go for what they want and fully like embody that kind of passion that you're showing. The love element though, you'll know who really supports you, and that's what the Three of Cups is. Emotional support system, celebration, people who are delighted, raising a glass, they're just like swarming around you. They're coming to you and asking like, how did you get on with that? Tell me more about that. Let's celebrate. That's really, just encouraging words and love. The Three of Cups is, I always see it upright as a very positive card in most cases. With the love signature here, I certainly see it as that. It's feelings. It's associated with Mercury in Cancer. Cancer is a really loving energy, and it's really like all about, nurturing energy. So I just see like that from around the 11th of June onwards, you really know who it is that loves you and supports you and just really wants to encourage you. The Three of Cups also speaks to parties and celebrations, get-togethers with family, with friends, with colleagues, with your network, just whoever you feel are your true emotional support system in your life. You get to see them. What a blessing. You get to spend time with them this month, and good times are coming your way. Fun, laughter, just some silliness. I think the more flamboyant characters that have come into your life recently, they're coming into your life for a reason. I feel like the Page of Wand energies, they could be people from a different cultural background to you, they could be people that are of a different age group to you, even younger maybe, but just very like a dramatic flair around these people, and a real sense of creative self-expression and authenticity coming from these people. Again, it could be you, Leo, embodying Page of Wands, but either way, it's all a mirror for you. They may be people you're joining in the fun with this month ahead, but these might be people that are bringing out that Siren energy in you too, right? Not being afraid of exploring taboo elements of yourself or of life, and also not being afraid to shirk convention and say, well, I'm going to be doing it my way and doing something a little bit differently. The Siren, of course, is that really attractive, and we saw it as the temptress coming through as well, so that could be a little bit of fun, and that's that Venus in Leo signature. I think that's coming through. Not being afraid to step out and express your desires, just very like unabashedly. And then Mars is so primal and just kind of like making it happen for yourself or asserting this. This is all in its highest and best, most healthy form, going to be doing wonders for your sense of self and authenticity, and not being afraid to really put yourself out there. And of course, being validated is going to be very nice too. But don't expect that from everybody. The Five of Cups may be something you notice like right off the bat, that like you maybe haven't been noticing this, that okay, I know who I can run to and just like tell this to, and then you know who you kind of actually, some people are going to even be thriving off your Seven of Pentacles energy. When you express doubt to them, when you express fear or anxiety to them, they might actually be more interested in that. That could be a telltale sign too. Anyway, your highest self, more pleasure, Nine of Pentacles, the highest self is just saying like, enjoy yourself. Earthly pleasures are all abound in the month of June. This feels like the heat of the sun on your skin. This seems like just you soaking up the energy of nature, of a lover's embrace, all of these really good feelings, a hug, hugging a pet, a child, a tree, just anything that just makes you feel like in tune with your body. And pleasure is something that your higher self is actually encouraging you this month, so go for it. The Nine of Pentacles also speaks to your highest self encouraging you to pat yourself on the shoulder, because the Nine of Pentacles speaks to success overall, getting there on your own though as well, what you've achieved by just being you. It speaks to your unique selling point as well. It speaks to luxury and being able to afford certain things that bring you joy and pleasure and enjoyment, and the freedom that comes with that. The Nine of Pentacles is very salubrious indeed. Again, it speaks to the Siren. I just think that comes through really clearly. The religious and law element, that's interesting, right? Okay, so to me this is going to be speaking to especially a Aquarius rising or a Sagittarius rising. I'm really getting this message strong for you guys, okay? But the law, religious element for everybody really. First of all, religious. The Page of Wands has been heralding news and information towards you very much recently, okay? And it's something that's a little bit different to the conventional sense, and that's where the Siren element comes in. This is something that is non-conventional. Regardless how you feel about religion, if religion plays an important role in your life or not at all, or somewhere in the middle, let's look at this as a philosophical energy either, because I've noticed by reading like lots from many different world religions, from Buddhism to Islam to Christianity, a lot of it is very metaphorical overall. And as a spiritual person, I like to just derive like metaphors from these religions as well, and I see them coming up again and again. It's very fascinating. You also see these metaphors come up even in quantum physics and modern science and laws of the universe and philosophies of years or centuries, millennia gone by. So I think there's a little bit of wisdom to be gained whenever we see the religion card coming through. So as an archetype, I mean, it seems that you're going to be continuing your search for wisdom, continuing your search for philosophical truths, and that could be a signature for June for you and even beyond. I feel like expansion in the realm of like where certain truths are coming up and being very important for you, and just overall like that doesn't really seem to be ending. If you've got Sagittarius in the 9th house, what rising sign would that make you? That would make you actually an Aries rising. So also this could be coming up for Aries rising people, because that new moon in Sagittarius on the 3rd of June would then be happening in your 9th house of law, philosophy, religion, higher knowledge and expansion, and cross-cultural experiences and travel and foreign destinations. All of these things are expansive topics to kind of get into. So that could be coming up for you too this month in an even stronger way. But all Leo energy is coming through. Expand your mind and broaden your horizons, and kind of like you're going to be deriving a lot of like creativity and pleasure from philosophy, basically. Law coming through. I think quite simply that law could be, for some of you, have been dealing with some legalities at the moment, and if so, I'm not going to say that this is a positive or negative outcome. The law card is just kind of telling it to me straight. There's nothing here that indicates that there is something that would go wrong, although the Tower card could suggest that the fear of that going wrong is there, but that's just a fear. Also, the Four of Wands suggests in your environment that there's actually a lot of freedom in your environment, so that would be an indicator of things going right. But what I'm going to be just saying right now about this law card is something is ongoing for some of you in terms of legal matters, suits, cases, contracts, and that's just the law. It's like, bam, it is what it is. Okay, so Sirius is also a card of good fortune. For those of you who are dealing with like maybe divorce even, or like disharmonious relationship issues. I don't have a whole lot of like I guess there are indicators here to tell me that there is some disharmony in certain relationships. That is going to be an aid for you. Sirius was always seen as a fixed star in the night sky that supported like amicability between relationships that were in some way disharmonious. So that's a good sign. But I do see with the Tower card and the Five of Swords. Let's finish by talking about this. This is fears for you and how the end of the month looks. And also the Four of Wands speaks to the environment that you find yourself in this month. It's a freedom-loving environment. People around you, again, just like kind of want to put work aside and enjoy themselves. This person is like jumping out the door, skipping, hopping, just in complete joy. I'm hearing like the hills are alive with the sound of music. They are getting out of the office, they're getting out of the work from home environment and springing into action to have fun, to enjoy. The Four of Wands quite often in traditional decks is going to look like celebration. It depicts garlands and a structure that's going to be like a marquee or something. It depicts like a family celebration or a wedding or a party. Lots of party energy coming through and putting work aside or putting certain responsibilities or obligations aside and like just really enjoying yourself this month. So of course I love to see that. That's going to be really fun for you, and everyone around you kind of is on the same level and everyone's like, well, let's do it, let's have fun, let's enjoy ourselves. So June just does seem to be a busy month where you can enjoy yourself. Venus is all about pleasure, isn't it? So Venus in Leo, Nine of Pentacles, enjoy yourself. But there is something that we're going to talk about at the end of the month. I don't want to say too much of a good thing either, because that's just not what the Siren is all about. That's not what the Nine of Pentacles or Three of Cups is all about. These are about our birthright to receive, to enjoy, to experience pleasure, and not have everything have to be so arduous or so challenging or full of responsibility. But too much of a good thing could come up where something else falls to the wayside. I know you have another goal that hasn't fully been completed yet. The Seven of Pentacles tells me it's not far from your mind. The Seven of Wands, even in a subconscious sense, tells me that you're not giving up on this. So too much of a good thing could just derail you, you know. And the Five of Swords, as you can see, it says mistakes here. Then we've got solutions. Is it the same pen and paper in the Four of Wands? It very well could be. So this is a few things just to be wary of, okay? I think enjoy yourself, of course. I always advocate for that, but the Five of Swords could be derailing so much that you are even further behind on your goal, your primary goal. And Venus in Leo is going to tell you what matters the most to you, right? But you're going to also find yourself having solutions to how to get back on top. So that's not an issue. Plus your subconscious mind is already so entrenched in the idea of not giving up on this that I don't even see that as being an option for you. It's just a matter of patience and perseverance, because it doesn't happen overnight. The Five of Swords is just regretting something at the end of the month. It's a regret that I think will easily have solutions to it, but just bear that in mind. Bear that in mind, that there are people around you that are also going to be able to help you recalibrate or support you if you feel like you've messed up on something. Major Arcana card, the one and only, it's in your fears position. The Tower card is quite explosive. You seem to be worried about a situation exploding or suddenly changing. You're almost preemptively stressing about the rug being pulled from under you and everything coming crumbling down. There's not a whole lot to suggest that or support that fear, so I don't want to feed into that too much more either. I acknowledge it. It's there for you, and it's your fear, and that's so I respect it. But just to bear in mind that everything around you seems to be moving, and change doesn't seem to be scary or something that would be scary. In fact, it seems like it would be very much in alignment, which is the key word of the Eight of Wands. Thank you so much for watching, Leo. Like I said, I had a love and relationship reading. If you're interested, that's going to be linked below. It's exclusive to my Patreon. I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to